Hi everyone, this Heygo rerun is from June 2022. What do you see? Seattle! We explored downtown Seattle and we get to do a really fun thing over to
The Space Needle.
Yeah, the Space Needle. We take a monorail over to the Space Needle. So we hope you enjoy this really fun rerun.
Oh, I just realized our location is off. Oh well. Oh, if we can. Nope. All right. Hi everybody. Welcome. Happy to have you with us in Seattle.
We're so excited. We haven't done a Heygo tour for a while, so we're so excited to be back.
Yay! Hi Tish.
Tiash.
Yeah, it's gonna.
Hi Janet. We are well. Mark.
What?
Oh my goodness.
In the house.
Mark, who is A-list, cream of the crop, Heygo guide in Amsterdam has joined us today. Thank you, Mark. So great to see you. That was a very loud talker.
That was a loud talker. Yeah, I know. We got a little caterpillar up there. It's called boredom. I thought, why not? Give it a try. Hi, Deborah. We're happy you joined us as well. Welcome, everybody.
Lots of folks joining. Hello. For those of you who may not know us, we're glad you're here. I am Patrick.
And I'm Aaron.
And we normally are in New York City. But if you don't know this already, Aaron and I do tours for Heygo, but we work in theater, which is our main job. And I am on tour with a musical called The Prom. And Aaron's out visiting me right now. And while he has the time, and so we're going to do a tour here in Seattle, which we're very excited about.
Hi, Diane and Jane. I'm glad it worked out. Oh yeah, the Broadway Museum. I know, very exciting, Cindy. Yeah, we're excited about that. Diane, no, I did not go to the Tonys this year. I've been before. It seems like a good time, but you sit there for a very long time uncomfortably.
It's a long day. It's a long day doing the Tony Awards.
Yeah.
Sorry. It's all scrolling by.
Oh, there we go. I hope, Christine. We'll see. You got one for me? Call me.
Here in Seattle, we're playing the Fifth Avenue. We're just here. We've been here for a few weeks. We finish up this weekend.
Yeah, Pike Brewing behind us, Justin. It's going to be an overcast day today, which seems quite appropriate for Seattle.
Yeah.
Although we're going to talk about that. Seattle is not the rainiest city in the United States. We'll talk about that a little bit as we make our way.
Doreen, the Fifth Avenue is a gorgeous theater. Aaron played there too just a few years ago, and it's one of those. I always say when you're on tour with a show, there's like this unspoken gift every time you walk onto the stage and you get to see the house for the first time. It's a cool moment that that's really fun. And the Fifth Avenue, walking out onto the stage and seeing the Fifth Avenue Theater with a loud truck that's backing up.
I'm hoping they're not coming to us. We'll see. I've been keeping an eye on it.
Oh, okay.
We've both played, pulling our feet in so we don't get run over. We both played the Paramount Theater here as well, which is another beautiful theater.
Yeah. It's going to be kind of loud.
Bear with us.
I'm going to show you this truck. Wait, how do I turn around?
Yay, but he kept going. That's good. I was worried he was literally going to the garage behind us. What's our favorite theater? Oh, that's a good question. I mean, we have played a lot. I will tell you that almost all the Fox theaters are just beautiful.
The Fox in St. Louis.
Yeah. The Majestic in San Antonio is really terrific.
There's really some beautiful ones. The Fifth Avenue. I mean, the theaters that were built in the 20s, 100 years ago, are just so ornate and gorgeous, and all that gold leafing and.
Jill, you were at the last show of Mrs. Doubtfire. That's so sweet.
I was too, Jill.
Aww. Yeah, thanks, Trudy. Just trying something different. Why not? Not going to be in Portland, although we love Portland.
We've
been there quite a bit. Multnomah Falls. My favorite restaurant, I think it closed. It used to be their Veritable Quandary. Oh, they had an osso buco that like sent shivers down my spine. Veritable Quandary. I think it's gone. Is it still there? Hi, Martine. I always have plans for another show, Jana. It's whether the show has plans for me or not.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
Isn't that right?
I always say, every show opens and every show closes. So, that's kind of the cool thing about working in theater is that there's always a new project that, we don't know what's coming down the pike, but, there's always something new.
Hi, Mona.
Coming up.
For those of you that don't know what Janet's talking about, and a couple other people asked, so we're both in theater. Patrick is doing The Prom, the national tour of the musical The Prom, which is here in Seattle, and I was doing Mrs. Doubtfire on Broadway in New York, which closed the end of May. So the actor's life, on to find the next one. It'll happen at some point, hopefully sooner rather than later, but it'll happen. Welcome, everybody. We're happy you're with us. We're a little over 3 minutes away from starting, so you're getting ready to say.
If you're new, if you might be new to us.
Veritable Quandary is gone. The restaurant I love. I thought somebody told me that. Sorry, go ahead.
No, that's okay. If you're new to Aaron and I on Heygo, we're glad you're here. Thanks for joining us. And I'm Patrick.
And I'm Aaron.
And let us know in the chat if you are new to us, because we always like to know when we have new folks on.
And if you are new, please know that we are normally the New York City guides, but whenever we travel, we love to show off where we are if we feel like we can do it justice. And Seattle is probably one of our favorite cities. In fact, we were just saying this morning, we were like, I could live in Seattle. Barbara, you're new. We did a tour of Lancaster.
Oh, we love Lancaster.
Yeah.
And I'm pronouncing that correctly, Barbara. Lancaster.
Did I say it wrong? I said it a little bit wrong, didn't I?
I did. That wasn't pointed. I said it correctly, Barbara. No, that's not what I meant. Isn't that how locals say it, Barbara? Lancaster, as opposed to Lancaster.
We love a quirky site whenever we travel. So we stayed one night in Lancaster at the Caboose Motel, and we stayed one night at the Steamboat.
Oh yeah,
Motel.
That was really fun.
The Steamboat Motel we liked enormously, and Deborah was just there. Oh my goodness, we have neighbors getting ready to move there.
It feels very English to call it Lancaster.
Lancaster, it does.
Rather than Lancaster.
Lancaster. Welcome, everybody. We're a little over a minute away from starting our tour today, and we're happy you're all with us in Seattle, Washington, on the complete opposite side of the United States of America from where we normally give our tours.
3,000 miles away.
Everyone was in Lancaster this past week. My goodness. What did we miss?
You live in a popular place.
I guess we should have gone.
Well, lots of friends we know are retiring in Lancaster.
John says, welcome to Seattle. Thank you. Janet,
we don't know why.
Yeah, it's telling us our location is off, so
I don't know that we have control over that.
Yeah.
If we do have control, we don't know how to fix it.
But you know what? We will we'll give off some landmarks as we make our way along. We'll tell you like what the streets that we're at as best as we can.
Yeah.
And so that way, if you want to pull up a map, you can kind of see as well. Because we're going to be traveling quite a bit. We're going to do the market, and then we're going to make our way along Pike Street, and then we're going to head over to the Space Needle on the Monorail. We already bought our tickets. Very excited about that. We could have a little bit of vamping time waiting for a monorail.
Yeah.
Oh, that truck stopped right in the middle of the alley.
Oh, okay.
Right in we'll still be fine. Actually,
we'll
it cleared out some crowds for us, so that's nice. Thanks, Kirsty. We're happy to be back.
Yeah,
hi, Tony and Tariq.
We miss it. We love doing these tours so much that we get to check in with. We feel like our virtual new friends.
We are, Marion. We're going on the monorail. Oh, thanks, Kathleen. Gosh.
Hello from Seattle, Esther. Are you
my
here?
Goodness.
Well,
we're waving.
Yeah, hi, Esther. Are you right next to her?
Yeah. Oh my goodness, it is. Time to get going. Welcome, everybody. Sorry the weather's... Hey, Esther, you know what? We do these tours in any kind of weather. I think it might drizzle on us, but that's okay. That seems kind of appropriate for Seattle. Welcome, everybody. It's time to get going. It is 10:30 a.m. here in Seattle, Washington. If you're new to us, I'm Aaron.
And I'm Patrick.
And it is a live tour. The temperature is 55 degrees Fahrenheit. It's 13 degrees Celsius. And like I said, it's a live tour. Please feel free to ask questions along the way. If you are new to us, please know that we are normally the New York City tour guides. But whenever we do travel outside the city, we love to show off where we're going. And so we try to make it personal. We have some nice little personal touches to this one, including a building that we explored the last time we were here that they let us in on, and we have some pictures of it that we're going to show off about 10 minutes into our tour, 15 minutes into our tour. What else do I have to say?
Well, I can tell you, I'm not sure what you have to say, but I can tell you that there's a photo option. You can take pictures on this tour, which is really cool. I know most of you know this. Just in case there are one or two of you that don't, click that center button in your screen, and of any time you see something you like, click that button, and it will save that photo in your Heygo profile, but postcard picture. And you can send those to your friends or family or loved ones and let them know where you've traveled to virtually, or you can just enjoy yourself.
Mary Lou, it's funny you mentioned those cherries, because I'm on strict orders from our friend Elizabeth to pick some up for her husband Sean, because they're his favorite. So I hope Sean's not watching, because it's a surprise. Yeah,
I know Aaron has a mustache. Isn't it crazy? I didn't know that. He didn't.
It was a surprise.
Somehow, we sent pictures back and forth, but somehow
I actually kept hiding it. I would be like, send a picture like this, or yeah. Because I just flew in late last night. I got in, really late. I got in about midnight. I was supposed to get in earlier, but I got lucky. I thought the flight would be canceled and subsequently today's tour, but my flight got in, which was very exciting. And the final thing I have to say is, if you have any technical issues, please feel free to push the 3 dots at the top of your screen to get some support from the Heygo team. And I will say also, we might go in and out of unplugging our microphone today because of crowds. Because as we walk through the market, it might be a little bit crowded. But we will always say that. We'll always say, hey, we're going to unplug for just a little bit and then plug back in. So when we do unplug, you'll get more of the ambient noise. You'll get potentially some wind if it gets windy. That might happen here. It also might happen on the monorail. We'll see. I think the monorail will be okay. I think that's it. Should we get going?
Let's do it.
All right. So welcome everybody to Seattle. Again, 55 degrees Fahrenheit, 13 degrees Celsius. We are starting right here in Post Alley. You can see there at the bottom of the hill, Post Alley there's a big sign right there indicating this is where the Post
newspaper.
The Post-Intelligencer newspaper originated, which is why the alley's named for it. But we're really starting here because of the famous gum wall, and you will see it is quite famous. You can tell by all the folks waiting to get their pictures in front of this gum wall. So it's located in Post Alley, adjacent to the box office for the Market Theater, which is a venue for comedy shows and other small performances. So Aftermarket Theater became a host for the Unexpected Productions Theater Sports in 1991. The theater's walls were covered by patrons who would use a piece of their gum to push a penny into the wall, or a coin. The coins have later been removed. You might find some here and there because people who know that original tradition. But the walls have even been cleaned more than once, but the gum just keeps coming back, and now it's actually something that is preserved and stuck. Several parts of the wall are several inches thick with this gum. I'm not going to lie, I've been here numerous times, and it always makes me go, ew.
It's disgusting.
It's
disgusting.
Yeah, agreed, Diane. Ew. Yeah. The walls are about 15 feet high with the gum, about 50 feet long, so about 4.6 meters high, about 15 meters long.
Because this truck is here, we're going to have to get close to it. I try to stay right in the center of the alley as far apart as I can, but now we're going to have to walk right by it.
Yeah, we are. You want to go to that side? Which side?
Yeah,
Maybe
let's go this
side.
way.
Yeah. This is the truck that was giving us noise earlier.
Hold your breath, everyone.
Yeah. Oh. Anybody want a freebie? Remember in Elf when he takes
Ew.
another little glimpse of the gum wall. And we'll show you when we get to the top of the hill from afar. You can see it goes all along this alley, all the way to the top. We're kind of beneath the Pike Place Market right now, by the way. You can see the ramp of the alley as we make our way up. Oh, no, thank you.
Yeah.
We had, Martine, we did talk about, if you're just joining us, we are showing off the gum wall here in Seattle, a very famous, unique spot where patrons of the Market Theater used to press pennies into the wall. I don't see any coins. Every now and then you'll spot one. Should we show down the
Yeah.
alley? Just to show where we came from before we head up to...
I mean, that rude truck is there.
I know, that is rude. There we go. I agree, Marilyn. It's a bit gross, but it is a tradition that is... We even saw, as we were getting ready for the tour, we saw a young lady with her hand on the wall posing.
Like, ma'am,
no.
take your hand away.
Get some sanitizer ready. So we're going to go up and... do you want to go this way or stairs? What do you think? Maybe this way?
Yeah.
Because then we get a nice shot. Yeah. So we're headed up to the Pike Place Market. It is the country's oldest continuously operated public market. It originally actually started due to overpriced onions. The price of produce was soaring in 1906, so the city suggested a public market where farmers could directly sell their produce for a lower price. And it began in 1907 with a half a dozen farmers bringing produce to the city. Over the years, the number of farmers has varied greatly.
Marion, the alley did not smell, no.
No, it doesn't. I'm actually going to, while we're just rounding the corner, I'm going to go ahead and put my mask on because it's going to get
very peoply,
and we want to be safe. So it's quite iconic. I'm sure a lot of you know this image of the sign and the clock. And we'll talk about the sign and the clock a little bit before we leave. We're going to make our way through the market a little bit and then backtrack some along the street, and then we'll show the sign and the clock again as we leave. But over the years, the number of farmers has varied from a high of several hundreds in the 30s to a low of only 30 in 1976. It's got a major rebound now. It's home to more than 200 craftspeople, a wide range of unique shops, services. There's also low-income housing here, and 4 social service agencies here as well. And it's made up of a number of interlinking buildings on several floors, all with knockout views of the Puget Sound, the body of water behind us, which we'll talk a little bit about as well. And over the years, it's kind of become famous for its charming, eccentric, individually owned stalls, the buskers, the musicians, of course, the fishmongers. We could talk about Rachel the pig while we're waiting for some fish to be thrown.
Oh, yeah.
So here's Rachel the pig. A big piggy bank right here. This is Pike Place Market's original mascot and a bronze piggy bank. Been standing proudly beneath the market clock since 1986. She was installed originally to raise money for social service agencies. There's a little plaque for her as well, I just noticed. It's part of the market's foundation mission to nurture a thriving market community. On an evening in February 2011, actually, Rachel the piggy bank stood bravely against an out of control taxi, and she was knocked off her base, got a large crack and a sizable dent, but fortunately, sculptor Georgia Gerber fixed her, brought her back to life, fixed her, and returned her to the market happily. So here's the famous fish tossing. Hopefully we'll get to see some while we're here. If not, maybe when we backtrack, we'll catch it as well. But this came about because back in the day, the fishmongers got tired of trekking out to the fish table each time a customer ordered a fish. They realized it was just easier just to, chuck the fish over the counter instead. So hence the flying fish still sail through the air today. Ooh. Specific salmon season, says Justin. Oh, I hear some yelling. Maybe that's a good sign. Let's see. Yeah, Christina is pretty cool. There's a vibrancy and an energy to it. You know, while we're waiting, actually behind, I'm just going to point right back here is a place called Market Spice, and they're kind of known for their Market Spice tea, and it's been sold here for over 100 years. That little shop has been there, and they also have a lot of great little gifts in there as well for the cooks in your life, specialty teas and spices. Market Spice back there, pretty terrific. And the stairs, by the way, that are right here go down to that gum wall, just so you know. So we kind of just did a big circle, basically. So that's Market Spice over there. We'll talk about a couple of the other shops as we make our way through.
Yeah, we might catch it on the way back, but
yeah.
This is definitely where, for those of you that mentioned the fish tossing, that's where this is where that happens.
Shall we just make our way on through now? And when we come back, hopefully we'll get to see a flying fish. If not, Patrick will go flying. He'll do some leaps and bounds for us.
We'll just grab one and toss it back and forth.
Yeah. So, and you're going to notice, by the way, see these neon signs above us, restrooms pointing down, and lower down there it'll say lower floors. It is very intricate, lots of interlinking buildings around here, so you can really get lost as you make your way through the market. Under this main arcade, it's almost like a labyrinth of like corners and corridors and shops and stalls and stairs. There's a magic trick shop, an old poster shop, bookstore, funky clothing store. So much to be seen all around the market. These flowers, by the way, are so ridiculously inexpensive. Like, here's a peony small bouquet for $10. I mean, come on. Every time I come to work in Seattle, I'll come grab flowers for my hotel room because it's just so inexpensive and they're so beautiful and fresh. So some of the other great shops that you'll find as we make our way through the De Laurenti Specialty Food and Wine Shop. They have a lot of great Italian specialties. Moon Valley Organics, which we might see down here as well. Somebody mentioned the Mount Rainier cherries as well. I think we'll see those. We're just going to walk through the market a little bit and then make our way out. Also in the basement is a giant shoe museum. Seattle has its own, very own sort of Ripley's-esque museum hidden in the depths of the Pike Place Market. It's located in the down-under level of the market. Kind of a quaint little museum that takes up a portion of the old Seattle paperwork store.
Someone asked if the flowers, if they smell. I didn't smell them. Mostly what I smell is the fish market now.
And speaking of the flowers, there's a couple stalls. We'll probably see some more as we make our way along. A few more that we'll see. Oh yeah, Evelyn, I won't forget the Principal Crest, although we'll probably come back to I'm here all weekend with Patrick, so I'll come back to the market probably a couple times. So here's Lowell's right here. It's got 3 floors of a waterfront view, and it's a nice little place to come eat. Actually, we did it a few years ago, but what's terrific is I just put a picture in the chat if you want to see. You can be right here in the market, having a nice meal, looking out at the Puget Sound, the water, the bay behind you, Elliott Bay behind you. And there's a couple other little restaurants here in the market as well, but Lowell's is kind of an old, classic hardwood booths and whatnot. Again, we just put that picture in the chat if you want to see it. It's going to get a little people-y, so I'm going to try to go behind Patrick, but I don't think we need to unplug yet, do you?
Not yet, no.
I think we're still okay. I'm going back to that shoe museum, though, the giant shoe museum that's in the basement here at the market. They have a very entertaining array of enormous footgear. It's a collection by Danny Eskenazi, and he became a large shoe connoisseur after his grandfather actually once owned a shoe by Robert Wadlow, who is the tallest person in recorded history. Do you want to pop out there?
Yeah.
Sure, let's do it. Yeah. We're just going to make our way out of the market just a little bit to show you the Puget Sound in the distance. Not in the distance, it's going to be right here. Coming in from the Pacific Ocean. This is really Elliott Bay, part of the Puget Sound. And if we make our way just off of this to the end of this bridge, we'll have kind of an uninterrupted view of it. It's quite beautiful.
Yeah, I know it's really busy, Kathy.
Yeah, and that's kind of that's a little bit a smaller, not a smaller crowd, but somewhat actually. There we go. It's just a beautiful view, even on an overcast day. Just love it so much. Seattle is one of our favorite cities. We come here quite a bit, actually. The Ferris wheel is relatively new that's going to be coming into view, but down there, if you think of those piers and wharfs in San Francisco that are quite popular, they have a similar thing here in Seattle, where there's, Karen, they have a lot of cruise ships come here. The ship that you just saw move away, that's part of the ferry system that's a very intricate, elaborate, massive ferry system that's so useful and really terrific. If you're coming to Seattle, maybe take a ferry out to Bainbridge Island, or there's a lot of terrific ferry rides you can take for a day trip, or even a half-day trip as well. Oh, yeah, Mary, we're going to talk about the underground tours. Yeah, absolutely. We've both done it a couple of times. I might even squeeze it in again on this visit because it's just terrific. And we'll come to that. Basically, there's a whole underground. You can see the market from the distance right here. We're going to go back into it. So during somebody was talking about how crowded it was. During pre-pandemic times, more than 15 million people were visiting Pike Place Market a year. You'll see over a dozen languages spoken and written at the market. Oh, that's a great shot. Esther, yeah, we've both been to the Chihuly Museum. We'll end outside of it today. But yeah, we've both been to it. It's pretty terrific. It's for those that don't know, Dale Chihuly, an incredible glass artist, who we'll talk about it near the end of our tour, has a museum here in Seattle. All right, let's make our way back into the market. Perfect. Good. So it's basically located along First Avenue, the market here in Seattle. The smallest business at the market is La Vaca Burrito Express at just 60 square feet. The oldest business at the market is the Virginia Inn, a restaurant at First Avenue and Virginia Street. It started in 1903, before the market even opened. And Three Girls Bakery was the very first Seattle business to be opened solely by women. It opened here in the market in 1912. And in 1969, Seattle City Council voted to demolish the market. It was unanimously approved. Let's go down, further. Yeah, one more, and then pop out, because then Starbucks will be right down there. Yep. So they had approved for a urban renewal of the market. They were going to build a 7-story parking garage and high-rise apartments. Isn't that something we've all heard too much of? But the public revolted. There was a grassroots effort, and they eventually got the issue on the ballot, and voters agreed to save the market. Here you can see another one of the flower stalls. These I can smell. Do you smell them?
Yeah.
Even with my mask on, I can smell them. Oh, the peonies. I want all of the peonies, please. Please and ease, give me the peonies.
They are affordable, too.
Yeah. I mean, a dozen peonies for $30. I think they might have been cheaper at the other one. But as we make our way through, you can see, here's Moon Valley Organics on the left. That was one that I mentioned earlier. So it's actually kind of cool. It's healing soaps and honeys and gift tea sets. It's a Pacific Northwest family that owns and operates this business right here. That's located in the foothills of the Cascade Mountain Range. And they grow, manufacture, and distribute all their products from seed to sale. Pretty darn cool, I think. We could probably go out here, I think.
All right.
Okay, so we're going to exit the busyness of the market. Another flower stall, another chance. Their peonies are $1 cheaper. $2 a stem.
Who's clocking the deal, Aaron?
Yeah. And we're going to make our way over here to Starbucks. Now, I don't know if you've ever heard of this place before, but they're known for their coffee. It's called Starbucks.
Thanks, Mona. She put in Moon Valley Organics.
Website. Thanks. Yeah, I love that that's from seed to sale. I like that term. It makes me think of from farm to table. So Starbucks began here in Seattle in 1971. Originally, it was down the block. So a lot of folks think that this is the original location. It was not. It was down a little bit further. But this is where they opened their first store, offering fresh roasted coffee beans, teas and spices from around the world for the customers to take home. You can see there's a long line for folks waiting to get in to get some coffee from the original Starbucks. The name, by the way, was inspired by the character Starbuck in the classic tale Moby Dick. And it was meant to evoke the seafaring tradition of the early coffee traders, which is why you'll see a lot of nautical-themed images in the Starbucks insignia. It goes even further down. I didn't realize that. Yeah. My goodness.
Yes, we love the Reserve, the Starbucks Reserve, Esther, in Capitol Hill.
Yeah. We've got one in New York now, too. There are over 34,000 Starbucks worldwide. So now we're going to backtrack. You're going to see the public market on our right. As we make our way along, we'll catch a glimpse of this public market sign. There's two different big neon signs that are kind of associated with the market. So we'll catch a glimpse of this one that you'll see right here above the green roof. And we're also going to talk about Beecher's handmade cheese up here because I was going to say who doesn't love cheese, but I guess somebody who's lactose intolerant doesn't.
That's true.
Well, they might still love it. They just mourn it.
That's true, yeah.
That's all.
Anna and Fiona, welcome. Thanks for joining us.
Looks like we have to stay over
here. We are in the middle of Pike Place Market
Yeah.
at the moment, just showing off the market here. We're still toward the beginning of our tour, so welcome.
So Beecher's handmade cheese, which is going to come into view as we got diverted from our traffic. I think they're doing some work right here, so we had to move out of the street a little bit. But it's right across from Pike Place Market. It's, I think, kind of a must-see, do and eat experience. You can watch them make the cheese right here while you taste the cheese and while you buy some cheese and read about cheese and find cheese recipes. It's been included in Oprah's favorite things, specifically their mac and cheese. That was one of Oprah's favorite things. One of the few cheese factories that still practices the centuries old craft of open bat cheese making. Oh, we might be able to see
we
it
can
here.
get it over here.
Hopefully the glare is. Oh yeah, here we go. You can see the open bats right here. Oh, and she's going into it right there. So Beecher's cheese. Right? Agreed, Evelyn. So cheesy, just like our tours.
Let's go inside.
You want to go inside? Okay, I'm going to put my mask on. All right. We'll take 2 grilled cheese out of it. Yeah, a lot of people love their... Oh, yeah, look at that. Come on. A lot of folks love their mac and cheese. For me, it's the grilled cheese because they do a... Oh, so sorry. They do a grilled cheese on a nice sourdough. So sorry. It is like a cheese bathtub, Tish. They do a nice grilled cheese on a sourdough. It's so tasty. You can sometimes find their cheese. Well, we do have a Beecher's in New York City as well. I can't remember if we've ever shown it on one of our New York City tours. For those of you that are new to us, by the way, we are normally the New York City guide, so that's why we're referencing New York. But I have found their cheese at Costco before. So if you're wanting to try Beecher's cheese, take a look at Costco as well.
Here we are just outside the Pike Place Market. We're walking along the street. Here's the, there are 2 neon signs. Here's the smaller one of the 2. If you let this truck go by, then you can get a clean shot.
Move it, Merlino Foods. I think we can go back out into the street now as well. So for those of you that might have joined a little bit late, we are walking along Pike Place Market. We're going to make our way up here to show the iconic neon signs up here before we leave this area. But this is the country's oldest continuously operated public market, and it kind of even continues across the street. You can see all these little kiosks here, and it's a bit of a labyrinth in that area as well. You can kind of wind your way through, get lost. There's even a cool speakeasy up there on the 2nd floor I went to the last time I was here. You can find any kind of food. I mean, there's Greek. I see fried fish up above. You can find, we just passed Mexican behind us, plus fresh produce, fresh flowers, of course, as we've been talking about. It's home to more than 200 craftspeople and well over 100 produce vendors as well.
Lydia, yes, they do still throw the fish. We just walked by that fish market a little earlier. They weren't throwing the fish then, so we'll see. We're going to walk by it right now. We may or may not catch them tossing fish, but I don't know if they have an official schedule for the fish tossing.
I think when someone pays the money, they do it.
I think that's probably, yeah.
So, Patrick, what do you want?
Oh, you know what? Let's do it, just for the halibut.
No, boo. Boo. Oh, my God. That was terrible. Oh, I do see a crowd. That's a good sign. Should we go over?
All right, sure.
I see a crowd, so we might see a flying fish, which would be very exciting. So, again, this is where the famous fish tossing happens. Originally, this took place way back in the day because the fishmongers got tired of walking out to the fish table each time a customer ordered fish. They realized it was easier just to chuck the fish over the counter instead. So hence we still have the flying fish to this day.
Oh! Oh my God!
Yay! There it goes!
Oh!
Oh! Whoa! It's the splash zone. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad we caught it. Totally the splash zone. All right, I'm so glad we got it. That's exciting. Well, we're going to walk just this tiny little block up, and then we're going to turn back around and give you one final shot of the market before we leave this area and take you through the streets of Seattle. We're showing a lot on today's tour. We're packing in a whole bunch. By the way, I should have mentioned, oh yeah, I'll come back to what I was going to say I should have mentioned on. Here we're going to get this great shot of the clock and the sign right here. Erected in 1937. We are very lucky. For those of you that know us, you know we're always stuck showing scaffolding in New York City. And this was covered in scaffolding until, what, about a week ago?
Yeah, just recently.
Because it just underwent a 5-week cleaning and restoration process. In fact, Patrick came to test the signal of our tour last week, and it was covered. And now it's uncovered, and we're so pleased. So it just had a 5-week cleaning and restoration. Yes, Lydia, we're going to the Space Needle. We're doing it. Oh, we got the walk sign, too. We're gonna make our way. So we're crossing First Avenue right now. Our map is not working today for some reason. So we'll try to give you landmarks along the way. We're crossing First Avenue. We're on Pike Street. If we were to go to our right, we'd hit the Showbox, which is an iconic live music venue that has been around since 1939, an Art Deco venue. Some of the artists that have performed there, Al Jolson, Gypsy Rose Lee, Dizzy Gillespie, the Ramones, Snoop Dogg, Pearl Jam, many more. That is such an eclectic mix of people. It's kind of amazing. So we're going to walk about 5 blocks right now and then make our way over to the monorail. And as we make our way along, we're going to talk about some general Seattle information while showing you some of the sights here along the way. So Seattle, for those of you that don't happen to know where we are, it's a seaport city on the west coast of the United States. It is the seat of King County, Washington. The population is about 737,000. It's the largest city in both the state of Washington and the Pacific Northwest region of North America. The metropolitan population is about 4.02 million, or really about 4 million. That makes it about the 15th largest in the United States. It's situated on an isthmus between Puget Sound, which is the body of water we were showing back there, an inlet of the Pacific Ocean, and Lake Washington. And we're only about 100 miles from the Canadian border, about 160 kilometers. In fact, Patrick and I, a couple times when we've been here, if we're here for a longer period of time working, we'll take off and go up to Vancouver, because we love Vancouver as well. It's the 4th largest port in North America in terms of container handling, and it's a major gateway for trade for East Asia. It was originally inhabited by the Native Americans for at least 4,000 years before the first permanent European settlers came. Arthur Denny, a name I bet a lot of folks know, and his group of travelers known as the Denny Party. They arrived from Illinois via Portland on November 13th, 1851, and they named the area Seattle in honor of the local chief, Seattle, part of the local Duwamish and Squamish tribes. Suquamish, excuse me.
Oh, look, there's a Crest building.
Oh, yes.
We show those on, I forget where we were. This is a Crest is
sort
of a rival to Woolworths. They aren't around anymore, but there's lots of Crest buildings still left all around the States.
I think Asheville, we showed one. Asheville, North Carolina. Speaking of Woolworth, as Patrick just said, right across the street from the Crest building, you'll see Ross Dress for Less. If you don't know Ross Dress for Less, it's sort of like a TJ Maxx or a Marshall's, a bit of a liquidator's store. But this is an old Woolworths building. You can definitely tell by the architecture of it. We're actually going to plop in a picture into the chat of an original shot of that old Woolworths building right there. It's originally opened in September 26, 1940. It was a Woolworths until 1994, and then it was vacant for a little while, and then it became this Ross Dress for Less store.
How interesting that there was a Crest literally right across the street, Crest building.
I think you mean right across the street.
Oh, my.
Ayo, these are the jokes, folks. Back to a little bit of Seattle general information. We're crossing 3rd Avenue on Pike Street. And Seattle is surrounded by 2 mountain ranges, the Olympic Mountains to the west and the Cascade Mountains to the east. On clear days, not like today, both are quite visible from the city, and it's really breathtaking when you catch those views. Glaciers heading south formed the current geography of Seattle, and it left major mounds of rock debris. And these mounds are now the popular areas of Seattle, quite a few popular areas of Seattle that we know of. Queen Anne Hill, Cherry Hill, First Hill, Capitol Hill, Beacon Hill. Some of those are, by the way, some of the best places to stay in and visit while you're visiting Seattle. Some of the best restaurants. It's definitely explore more than just the downtown while you're here.
Janet, I agree. I love the lampposts as well. There's a cool through line on all of the posts.
Oh, sorry.
They all have this little design at the bottom of them, which I love.
Including the seal of Seattle. You can see the city of Seattle right there.
Cool.
Now, while we're stopped here at this corner, I'm going to show off two buildings. We're at 4th Avenue and Pike Street. Should we do that one first? Yeah. So that's called the Liggett Building, also known as the Pike and 4th Building, built in 1927 in the late Gothic style. It's clad entirely in terracotta. It's still a 10-story office building. Normally there's a cool street clock we'd show in front of it, but it looks like it's covered up for restoration right now. But we will show you right across the street from that is the Seaboard Building, this eye-catching building right here. Terracotta facade, both office and residential. It's kind of got an Art Nouveau design to it, as well as some Beaux-Arts style.
Zoom in on some of the stonework at the top. It's really cool.
It's just beautiful, yeah. So originally this was the Northern Bank and Trust Company. They were the first tenant when construction was completed on this building in 1909. Nowadays, the first few floors are various offices, and then the higher floors have condominium units up there, which would be a fantastic place to stay by all means. You can see a little plaza over there heading to the Westlake Center.
The cool thing about Seattle, like we're in the downtown area of Seattle, and they have all of these trees. Everything is so green and lush in this area of the country, and it just bleeds into the city as well, which I love, that they keep the city nice and green with trees and parks. And
now, someone mentioned the underground tour earlier, so let's talk about the Great Seattle Fire. So the original Seattle Business District was destroyed in 1889 by the Great Seattle Fire. It was an overturned glue pot that ignited a massive fire in a city that was mainly made of wood buildings. So instead of rebuilding the city from the ground up, what they decided to do is they would just build the new city on top of the old city. So that means that many parts of current-day Seattle sit about 22 feet above the original city. And as somebody mentioned earlier, you can take an underground tour of that. It's really an incredible tour. And in fact, if you're ever in the Pioneer Square area, which is another neat area of Seattle, as you're walking along, you might see large purple gems on the sidewalk. And chances are you're walking right over the tour. Those are skylights that were used to bring in some light into the underground. Now we're making our way up to the corner of 5th and Pike. We're going to turn left here. If we were to go right, we'd go to the 5th Avenue Theater, which is where Patrick is doing the Prom, the musical. But as we make our way up here to the corner, you're going to see the Coliseum Theater coming into view. It's a former cinema here in Seattle, opened January 8th, 1916. It's listed on the National Register of Historic Places. It was Seattle's first theater built specifically for showing movies, and was one of the first cinemas anywhere to kind of strive for architectural grandeur. When it opened in the silent film era, it had a 7-piece orchestra plus an organist, and it continued to be a first-run theater until the 70s, and it showed some more films until the 90s, and eventually in 95 it shut down. It was a Banana Republic until recently, a Banana Republic store. In fact, you could go in and ask to see the theater before. And we did that the last time we were here. So I'm posting a couple pictures of that in the chat. So these are pictures that we took when one of the employees let us sneak into the actual theater. Because basically they use the lobby as the store. And I'll put a picture of that as well. So that you can see the clock there that would be in the lobby. So I just put that picture in the chat.
Yeah, we can just walk by the window and show you what Aaron's talking about. You can see some of the lobby of the original theater as they still used in the store.
So again, if you've closed the chat, go ahead and open the chat, and we put in a couple of those pictures in there that we took. You can see some of the details in there.
Yeah, you can sort of see like those arches. That's part of the original lobby of the theater.
These
Really
we took,
cool.
so my show, Mrs. Doubtfire, that I was doing in New York, we did our out-of-town tryout here in Seattle in 2019, and beginning of 2020. And one of the dressers at the Fifth Avenue Theater told me, she said, oh, go ask one of the employees at the theater. They'll let you walk around. They'll take you into the back, or the theater area that's not part of the actual store. And sure enough, they did.
Oh, Jeff, our friend Jeff.
Oh,
Jeff Steitzer. Hi,
hey,
Jeff.
Jeff.
Welcome. Sorry, I
So-
didn't see you before. Peggy, no, sadly, the prom is not going to Portland. I wish that it was, because we love Portland.
Now we're making our way up to the monorail. We're going to keep our eye on it. There's one there. I wonder if we'll catch it. If we don't catch it, we'll have about 10 minutes of vamping time before we catch the next one, which is okay. We've got a lot of Seattle stuff we can chat about. But we're headed up to the monorail. It was built for the 1962 Seattle World's Fair to create a crucial link. But that car needs a little love. Let's see. Do we want to? Yeah, we can cross over. We might catch it. What do you think? Should we not? You don't want to race it.
We can try, yeah.
Nordstrom's right here, one of the classic stores, and original here in Seattle, by the way, as we're crossing the street. Yeah, Patrick does not feel
Well, I don't think
confident
it
it
stays in the station that long before
it takes off.
Yeah.
So, construction began on the monorail April of 1961, and we'll chat more about that as well as we make our way up there. As we wait for the light to change, how about I chat a little bit about Seattle's industry. So the first major industry here was logging. By the late 19th century, the gold rush had brought quite a bit of industry to this area. And after World War II, this was a major area for Boeing, and still is. In fact, you can tour the Boeing plant just outside of Seattle. Okay, we're going to make a run. We're going to make a run for the monorail. Oh, did I just hear it beep? Nope.
I think so.
Oh, we think we heard it beep. Yes, exactly. Birthplace of the Nordstroms, directly across the street. Yeah. Okay, bear with us as we hop and pop up the stairs. There is an elevator, by the way, but Patrick wanted us to get a workout. We're gonna make it. Oh my goodness. We pre-purchased our tickets. Here we go. Tell him to wait for me. We got it. Here we go. Run, he says. Okay, yay. Oh my goodness, we made it. Just out of breath. How about here?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, we're going to sit a moment. Welcome everybody to the monorail. So excited you're all with us. So again, this was built for, I'm out of breath.
For the World's Fair.
1962 World's Fair, to create a link between the World's Fairgrounds, World's Fair Fairgrounds, I guess we'd say that, and downtown Seattle. So, still out of breath. 3 flights. That shouldn't be that bad.
But
But it was. Yeah, we did do it. By the way, do you want to flip and show where we came from? This is the Westlake Center, which is a big mall. So you can enter at the Westlake Center. Right there. It enters right there. There is a an elevator up. We took the stairs. The ticket. How much is the ticket? Patrick bought it.
I just did this the other day. We did it. The truth is, we did it so fast. It was $6. It was either $6 round trip or $3 round trip.
I know. I can't remember now.
I think it's $6 round trip.
Yeah. So it opened March 24th, 1962. Again, part of the 1962 World's Fair. It was a cost of $3.5 million to build the monorail. It opened about a month before the World's Fair started. Still going, still running the same lines. Yeah, cheap transportation. Absolutely.
Wait, I missed a question before. Someone asked. I don't think masks are mandatory, but we choose to wear them.
Oh, yeah. We'd rather be safe. So we're going to be a little bit quiet so we don't disturb other riders.
Oh.
Ooh, very
I'm
exciting.
going to turn the camera around.
Yeah, okay. So after the fair was over, the monorail system was turned over to Century 21 Corporation at no cost, and then they sold the system to the city in 1965 for about $600,000. Today, the trains carry approximately 2 million passengers a year, and it's an important fixture for Seattle locals and also tourists. One of the few fully self-sufficient public rail transit systems in the nation. There's one red train and one blue train, so it can run at a top speed of 45 miles per hour. The trip only takes about 2 minutes, and it leaves every 2 minutes. Metro, well, Janet, like a streetcar, basically. We're gonna move a little bit, try to get a new view. Ooh, we're gonna go to the front. See the driver up front. There we go. So again, it is owned by the city government. We're about 30 feet above the street level, or about 9 meters. It can carry about 450 passengers, and it's about just a little under a mile long, or 1.4 kilometers, and it runs basically along Fifth Avenue, which is the street we walked along just a little bit ago.
Somebody wrote wonky signal. That's weird because we have a full signal here. So I hope it's okay.
It runs anywhere from 13 to 16 hours a day, depending on the season, depending on the weekday versus weekend, depending on special events. It was modeled after the Disney Monorail. The Disney Monorail came in 1959, about 3 years earlier, and it is a Seattle historic landmark, and we're pulling into our station right now. A couple sites over here by the Space Needle at the Seattle Center. Bear with us. We're also trying not to get people in the shot as much as possible. We don't want anybody to be upset that we're showing them over on the monorail. So while we're over here, we're going to show off the Chihuly Garden and Glass Center. We'll see that, a little bit of that, as well as the Museum of Pop Culture. So again, we just traveled about a mile, or about 1.4 kilometers on the monorail. We're at a top speed of about 45 miles per hour, about 72 kilometers. 2 trains, 1 red train, 1 blue train. It is run with a third rail electrification, and it is run by the city. We were 30 feet in the air, or about 9 meters. I think I did say that already. All right, let's see which way we go. That way. Here we go. Doors are opening. Here we go, everybody. So welcome. We just traveled a good solid mile so far on our trip. All right, so now we're over in the Seattle Center area, which has quite a few sites.
Just before we get too far from the monorail, I don't know, somebody asked earlier, I don't know if it was answered or not, but it is a separate, it is not part of the transit system.
Oh, right.
Here. It's a separate cost.
All right, so we're going to exit this area. You'll find over here, this is where the 1962 World's Fair Fairgrounds was located. And you'll still see a lot of remnants of that over here. A few of the main reasons that folks come over here, the Chihuly Glass and Garden Museum.
Yes, Tracy, it's just the 2 stops from where we got on and the Space Needle, which is coming into view right now.
Here it comes, the classic Seattle Space Needle. Oh my goodness. And yes, exactly, the Museum of Pop, or EMP, the Experience Music Project, which we'll chat about that as well. So here is the classic Space Needle. It was constructed in honor of the 1962 World's Fair. Started in April 1961, opened 1 year later, April 1962. It was a bit of a marvel of design and engineering that cost $4.5 million. John Graham and Company, they were the architects of it. 605 feet tall, or 184 meters. 138 feet wide, or 42 meters. And I'll pause on that a little bit because we got a little bit of a Chihuly piece peeking out right here. So this chronicles the museum that's beyond these trees right here chronicles the work and the inspiration behind legendary glass artist Dale Chihuly, who was born and raised in Tacoma, Washington, not too far from here. And he took an active part in designing the exhibition as well as the quirky collections cafe you'll find inside. You can also find some of his personal collections on display inside, everything from ceramic dolls to vintage radios and cameras to masks and antique shaving brushes.
I'm just going to turn the camera sideways to get a long shot here because you are not drunk, I promise. Or maybe you are.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it's early here, so people could be 5 o'clock somewhere. Oh, that's a great shot.
Chihuly and the Space Needle right there.
Again, the Space Needle is about 605 feet tall, or about 184 meters, 138 feet wide, or 42 meters.
I'm going to go back. For those of you that don't know, you can take that sideways shot and then edit it later to be right side up.
Let's go... maybe that way?
Diane, yes, there is a restaurant at the top, and I think it revolves.
Yeah, it does. It does revolve. Every 40, it does a complete rotation every 47 minutes with the aid of a 1.5 horsepower motor. And, of course, there's an observation deck is there. You can see the elevator coming down right now. The elevators move at 10 miles per hour, about 16 kilometers per hour. The trip up the 605 feet or 184 meters takes about 41 seconds, so it's a pretty quick trip up there. And let's go over here just to show the Museum of Pop.
Oh, yeah.
We're just going to kind of hang in this area, show a couple of things, and then we'll end our tour over here. But the Museum of Pop over here is a non-profit museum dedicated to contemporary popular culture. I'm hoping that between these trees we might get a decent shot of it. So it was founded by Microsoft co-founder Paul Allen in 2000 as the Experience Music Project. Now what I really want to talk about is that the building was designed by Frank Gehry. Frank Gehry, who we talk a lot about on our Lower Manhattan tours. He did a major apartment building there, that Beekman building, the wavy building, if you've been on our Lower Manhattan tours. But this is part of that Museum of Pop coming into view. Sort of hard to get a good shot of the whole thing, but you get the idea of the architecture, this curvy, swervy, funky look to it by Frank Gehry.
We'll get a good shot of it once we're over here in the park. We can turn back and get a good shot of the building.
So this houses several galleries, and it even has a Barco C7 black package LED screen, one of the largest indoor LED screens in the world. It's got pop exhibits, exhibits of pop culture, and from art to fantasy, horror, cinema, video games to science fiction, literature, costumes from screen and stage. I mean, it's just massive. Oh yeah, here we are with a great shot.
This is also a really cool kids park over here. This little playground is really elaborate.
Yeah.
And really cool.
It's called Artists at Play. It's meant to inspire your kids to be various kind of artists. In fact, you'll even hear some of the music coming out of it that are part of the playground equipment where you can make music. Now, the Museum of Pop is also the first U.S. museum founded as a science and technology center.
All right, I just wanted to show that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And here is a cool shot. I don't know if we can get the whole thing in. Oh, that is terrific, but...
yeah. Again, Frank Gehry designed this building. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
And maybe we'll
agree to
go over there with a nice shot of the Space Needle.
Yeah.
So we're gonna start to wrap up over here. We'll give you another shot of the Space Needle, of course, because you can't get enough of the Space Needle. I saw it as my plane was landing last night. I saw it from the plane. I mean, it's that iconic in the skyline of. I want to go play. Agreed, Diane. So again, the Space Needle, 605 feet tall or 184 meters. It's 138 feet wide or 42 meters. And yeah, we talked about the revolving restaurant at the top. It takes about 47 minutes to do an entire revolve. And yeah, we showed the glass museum right when we got off. The Chihuly Glass Museum.
That yellow glass
piece
that we showed. That is cool. Did you mention? I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention. Did we talk about how much it is to go up in the Space Needle?
Oh,
I think it's $35, and 30 if you're for seniors, a few dollars off for seniors, and 25 or 26 for kids.
you can hear the kids making music behind us.
Yeah.
It's very funny. So we are at the end of our tour, and we're so glad you're all with us today. Oh, thanks for asking that, Marcia. So tomorrow we're doing a sculpture park here in Seattle that's closer. It's kind of by the market where we started today's tour, the Olympic Sculpture Park. So that's tomorrow morning, I believe at 11 a.m.
Is it 11? Yeah, that's.
I'm going to double check that.
Right, yeah.
I'm going to double check
that. It is
that.
tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
Oh,
thanks.
thank you.
Yeah, and then next week we're in San Francisco, and we're going to walk across the Golden Gate Bridge. We're not going to go all the way across. I think we're going to do half of it.
Yeah.
Patrick won't let me do all of it. I'm just blaming it on him. Thanks, Natasha. I appreciate it. I'm just double checking tomorrow's time. Tomorrow's at 10 a.m.
Oh, 10.
It's an early one.
10 a.m. West Coast time.
I'm going to get less sleep. Yay, Kathy's on from Carlinville.
Oh,
yay.
hi, Kathy.
Welcome.
Also, there are so many great places you can go on these Heygo tours. Treat yourself and join all of the other fantastic guides that this platform uses. Mark in Amsterdam, Mark and Lee do the most fun and fantastic tours. We saw them dress up as
the girl in the pearl earring
and that art.
I know, why am I blanking?
Anyway, and they rode around town and just acted like them the whole day.
It was so...
And we could not get enough of it. We were laughing so hard.
We weren't together. One of us texted the other one, like, get on Heygo right... Oh, yeah, exactly. We were like, get on Heygo right now. Go check out Mark.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, my
gosh. The best. Anyway, join Mark in Amsterdam. If you haven't joined him, I'm sure most of you have. But they give terrific tours. And thank you all so much for joining us. We love doing these tours, and we feel like we're checking in with new virtual friends all around the world. So thank you for joining us. And
yes, tomorrow's tour is at 10 a.m. Somebody just asked that again. Tomorrow's tour is at 10 a.m.
That's right.
The Sculpture Park. And then next week, San Francisco Golden Gate Bridge is next Thursday morning at 11 a.m. Thursday morning at 11 a.m. is Golden Gate Bridge. We're going to walk a little bit of it and hang out in the park next to it and talk about it and see the bridge. By the way, we should have mentioned earlier, we are normally, we have mentioned it, but we should mention it again. We are normally the New York City tour guides. Whenever we leave town, we like to show off wherever we're traveling. And if you want to follow us and see wherever we're going, or get notified whenever we have tours popping up, you can click that follow button at the top of your screen, or you can go to heygo.com/Aaron and Patrick. We also have an Instagram, NYC Tour Guys, GUYS, and you can follow that and check out our travels and our adventures, and we post a lot of fun New York City shots on there as well. So please feel free to follow any of that.
And by the way, thank you, Tish, and everyone for posting links to things as we bring them up. And
the monorail. Oh, it's coming in. That's what we were on. Sorry, I didn't mean to get us off track, but how cool is that? That's honking. I think it's honking at us, saying hello. So go ahead and follow us to check out all that other stuff. And I don't think I have too much else to say. Do you?
No, I think that's it. Thank you so much. We love this. We love doing it, and it's always fun. What a crazy time in our world, right? People are still staying safe, staying home, and for even not necessarily staying home alone for pandemic reasons. Maybe you are homebound for any number of reasons.
Yeah.
But please know you're never alone. You have us, and you have this fantastic platform, and join tours all over the world because it's fun.
Yeah.
And it keeps us all occupied and sane during this crazy
It opens
time.
our eyes and minds to so much cool stuff, which I just love.
Yeah. All right, we're going to leave you with a shot of the Space Needle because that seems appropriate. Here we are in Seattle, of course.
Yeah, some of you have mentioned that because I had my mask on earlier. You're noticing I did grow a mustache.
There she is.
And I mustache you. Do you like it?
No, absolutely not.
No,
right.
you don't.
I like the mustache. I don't like that joke. All right. Thanks, everyone. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.